Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's available for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, you can go to their Patreon. And I think it's like $3 to get the newest stuff. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we were dealing with the ramification of Carl being a jerk by asking TJ, have you ever killed anybody? So we left Carl's place, went to Janine, you know, the old coyote, who wasn't wearing pants and was asking us to dig her a pool, which was, grave-shaped, 3 feet wide, 5 feet long, 3 or more feet deep, that sort of thing. I also joke that she was being like, oh, hey, TJ, I'm just standing in the doorway with nothing but a smile. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then we did some digging and then went back to Carl's after he said sorry and went, hey, how about for some closure, let's do that treasure hunt that Sydney, the jerk, left us. So we're now at the diner, sorting out Tuscany together. I'm sorry if my voice is kind of raspy. Endurance. But I really want to play this game. I want to play other visual novels too, but you can only do one at a time. Once you walk in, Carl lets out a gasping groan of relief that turns a few heads. Jenna looks up from the corner of her booth and waves at us. I wave back and start making my way over. Go into the bathroom. Gonna wipe my pits. TJ makes a sour face as he follows me to the table. Jenna scoots in as we can slide next to her. So what's all this about? Carl found the treasure hunt that Sydney made. Jenna toys with her brown leather purse, staring at it. Okay, like a map or something? A letter. What are you gonna do with it? Well, I look over at TJ, but he doesn't say anything, instead looking out the window at the sunset. We're thinking about doing it. You're thinking about going on a treasure hunt? Yeah. Gina pauses, clearly trying to choose her words carefully. Would there be anything left of it at this point? It would have been at least 11 years old by now. Jenna looks over at TJ, studying his reaction. I wonder if this is going to be something that's turn left at the big sign here. Something that would maybe survive 11 years. Or if it's something that would be here's this pile of rocks over here. Something that probably wouldn't last too long. Pile of rocks inside city limits. He doesn't give her anything, though still staring out the window. I spread my hands out on the table, instantly regretting it as I feel the grease slide around under my pads. We're seeing it more as a closure sort of thing. A send-off. We're not really expecting to find something. Also, when she was talking about spring cleaning, I thought she meant the diner, not her house, TJ finally looks back at us. He made it for us, so I feel like we should do it. For him. Jenna stares back down at her purse. I guess Flynn won't be involved. No. And Leo? He's going to be busy for most of the week. I don't think he'd really want to anyway. Why not? Now, TJ looks like he's trying to choose his words carefully. Sorry to clear my throat. He pretends like it never happened. I don't want to bring it back up for him. No one says anything else until Carl shows back up, the fur on his head and face a little wet. Hey, Jenna. Carl. Jenna nods at him as he sits down across from me. He reaches across the table, snatching up a menu with the metal holder in the center. I'll pay if anyone wants something. Jenna curls her lip in disgust, but I'm starving, so I start browsing the menu as well. Why is she disgusting? I thought she eats. I don't know. TJ goes back to staring at the window, and I can see his ears twitching around. So, where's this treasure hunt thing? Carl looks up and sees that Jin is staring at him. Huh. Oh, I have it. I'm gonna order real quick, though, if Chase is ready. I nod, and Carl waves his menu at Janice, who quickly bustles our way with a tray full of glasses of water. She's wearing pants now, but there's definitely still something off about her. Her eyes are wide. Her smile is more like a grimace as she sets down our glasses and straws. She takes our orders well enough, though, and Jenna waits patiently as Carl and I order a meal and TJ gets a smoothie. Carl methodically tears off one end of a wrapper off his straw before he blows the other end, shooting the rest of the wrapper at me. I miss doing that. I flinch and try to catch it, failing as it falls to the floor. Janet clears her throat loudly. So, where is it? Carl looks at her, the straw still in his mouth. Huh? Oh, right. Carl reaches into his pocket, then pulls out the envelope. He pushes it onto the table, face up. There's writing in black marker in the front. Treasure hunt number 7. We all stare at it. Huh. Should I read it? Carl sets his hand down on the letter. Or someone else. Carl's eyes briefly flick over at TJ, then quickly look back down at the letter. TJ's hand comes up, then surreptitiously scratches at an ear before letting it fall back into his lap. It doesn't seem appropriate that TJ open it, but if he doesn't want to. Carl looks just hesitant, so I finally reach out and gently slide it out from under his hand. I can read it. No one objects, so open it carefully. No one to rip anything as I pry the adhesive part. A chill goes through my spine for some reason. A strange, surreal vision comes to mind's eye of inky blackness leaking out of the envelope, spilling slowly across the table. I can feel it too, like an ice-cold draft is wafted in from inside. I pause, feeling an emptiness in my chest. What the hell? Give my head a small shake, breaking out of the trance. I guess it's only natural to feel this way. That's Sydney's handwriting on the letter, sealed after he licked it. You live making these treasure hunts. It's really sad, so it makes sense that I'd feel this sudden drop in mood. I swallow as I continue to pry it open, the feeling getting worse and worse as I do. When it's finally opened, the feeling slowly subsides. Tension in the air seems to melt away too, like the whole town just let out a sigh of relief. I look up for a moment at the others, wondering if they're feeling the same way. It's hard to tell, as they are looking intensely down at my hands. I quickly look down again and stick my fingers inside, feeling a piece of paper catch my pad. Gently, I press down on it and slowly slide it from the envelope. It's bright white copy paper, folded once in half. Jeez. It's been creased so long that it's starting to part at the fold, in the middle of the part, so that the edges are barely holding it together. Black blotches bleed through the paper, probably written in the same thick marker that was used for the envelope. I gently unfold it, not wanting to rip it apart more than it already has been. The big, blocky black letters are sloppy and childish. Even though it's only a few sentences, it covers the entire page. Last few words trail off into tiny, almost illegible scrawl. It droops off down the side of the paper as Sydney realized that he ran out of room at the end. Okay, clear my throat, start reading out loud. Welcome to treasure hunt number 7. This is the biggest one so far, and it's gonna take a long time. Took a long time? Yeah, I guess. So no cheating this time. I'm talking about you, Carl and Chase. No skipping steps. First clue. These things fly really high. It's in their home with the comb, so bees. Chase, you don't have to do this one. I know you hate it. You'll see if figure it out. Good luck, guys. Sid. I feel my throat close up just a little as I stare down at his name. He always wanted to go by Sid, but it never stuck, so none of us ever did. It just didn't suit him. I look back up to the others. Carl is still staring at the paper, and TJ is looking out the window again. Jenna has a hand up to her mouth, staring as well. Wow. Then she wipes at her eyes and looks away. I guess I never really thought about how this might affect Jenna. She and Sydney never really got along because of the way he treated TJ. But still, he was just a kid, like the rest of us. Carl lets out a ragged cough. That whole cheating thing was totally you, Chase, not me. I look up at Carl, raising a brow. You're the one that told me to do it. Carl smirks. And you're the one that did it. What did you do? TJ asked quietly from his corner, finally looking away from the window. Oh, Sydney liked to use certain hiding spots. I mean, there are only so many places he could use. Yeah, and Chase went straight to Sydney's mailbox and ruined the whole thing like a boss. I was like 8. Turns out, it was the last spot he got the prize. Carl makes a finger quote around the last word. Yeah, one of those plastic clapper things we used to get in elementary school for reading a lot. You're talking about those things that have hands and you shake them and the hands clap or something? He was so mad. Yeah. I remember dropping it on the ground because of how lame it was. I also remember Sydney crying, but I'm not gonna bring that up. Carl seemed to have at least lightened the mood though, and Jenna stopped wiping her eyes. I'm starting to think TJ was right about this whole closure thing. I know where he'd been talking about this one, though. I tapped the paper with a finger. Yeah, it's a birdhouse. Birdhouse? Where is that? The forest. TJ sits up straighter, ears up as well. I mean, didn't they say comb? The birdhouse is one of those trees close to the road. Oh, well, I never went there because of all the stuff that would get in my fur. TJ looks back out the window. The sun gone now, though the clouds in the sky are still tinging red. You guys want to do it tonight? Really? It's getting kind of late, and you still gotta eat. Carl looks eagerly over at the front counter, though, and the small rectangle that led to the kitchen. We can use Chase's car. Besides, it might be kind of fun in the dark. TJ adds the last bit meekly. Hell no? As long as you guys know where it is, it shouldn't be a problem. I gently fold the letter back up and start tucking it back into the envelope. What did he mean by saying you didn't have to do that one, Chase? I look up at TJ, then back down the letter as I gently press the lid of the envelope closed. I thought I saw something and got scared one time. Was a long time ago, though. At least, that's what I think he was talking about. Jenna clears her throat, seeming to have collected herself. I think I remember that. My parents told me about it. I frown. Really? I didn't like the idea of that. What did you see? I shrug. A person in the trees. A hanging person. Ooh. TJ shudders. So hell fucking no to going there tonight then? Sorry for the F word, Teach. It's fine. I saw a lot of things as a kid. I remember looking at the description of the game. It's like things that the main characters just kind of brushed off, kind of, but then maybe aren't brushed off. I'm not going to tell them about how I definitely still scared of that place. Besides, TJ looks really eager to start this, so I'm not going to ruin it for him. But really, that's not what's bothering me right now. I look down at my hands and I try to work out a timeline in my head. When was it that the incident happened in the forest? I thought I'd been about 10 at the time, since that was when I started going to my psychiatrist. And I started going because of that. But that would be impossible because... Here we are! The plate with a massive burger and steak fries lands in front of my face. The big coyote sets the smoothie down for TJ, and an even bigger veggie burger down for Carl. Hey Janice, is Julian working today? Janice smiles at TJ. No, dear. He only works here when I'm not. He'll be in tomorrow, if you're looking to find him. Okay, thanks. Janice then clutches her tray to her chest and watches for a moment. Listen, Chase, TJ, why don't you come by my house again when you get a chance? I look up at Janice and see she's got a strange look on her face, confused and worried looking. What's wrong, Janice? TJ's voice is full of concern. Did we do something wrong? No, you did everything wonderfully. I just want to get rid of a body. I just want to have a talk about the way I acted the past few days. Janice lets out an exacerbated soundless laugh. Not really sure about what came over me. Just now realizing how strange it was. She glances at Carl. But we can talk about it later, in person. Enjoy your dinner. She bustles off, tray still held against her body. Carl watches her go, stuffing a few fries into his mouth. What was that about? The way Janice looked at Carl makes me think she doesn't want him knowing about what had happened. I think she just feels bad for making us work so much. I look over meaningfully at TJ. Oh, yeah, maybe. TJ quickly starts sucking on a straw. Well, she should. Jenna's sitting back in the booth, having taken out her brush to start grooming the fur on her face and head. Okay, that's weird to do around other people's food. And conspicuously slamming plates, and a little further away from her. Actually, let's look at time. Okay, we're good, but let's look at her face. Yeah, let's readjust. E. Oh, wait, one more. Okay. Now once you finish, we can get to my car and head to the forest. As I left my burger and take a bite, I look over at the counter where I see Janice leaning over her notepad. Her shoulders are shaking, and it takes me a moment to realize that she's crying. The forest is really just a patch of trees on the side of the road near Leo's house. While it's technically small, it still covers several acres, which is enough to get lost in. The sky is a soft blue now, just enough light to see by. It won't be long before that won't be the case though. I pull off to the side of the road and spot where I think the birdhouse might be. It's been a while. It's been well over a decade since the last time I've seen it. This is probably where the treasure hunt is going to end, considering the time that's passed. The birdhouse probably isn't even there anymore. I'll step out of the car into the warm evening air. Carl folds his arms over the hood of the car, and grins at me. See? Even with the sun gone, it's roasting. At least you can drive me home now. Yeah. I look over at Leo's house, but the truck's is gone. TJ catches my glance. I might tell him what's going on if we find something, and you want him to join us. TJ picks at his claws. It's alright. I give him a quick side hug as we step up to the edge of the trees. I can see why TJ doesn't want to tell Leo about this. He was right about Leo pretending it didn't happen. I can't imagine it would go well if we told him about dredging up old Sydney scavenger hunts. So, where is it? Jenna looks into the empty ditch between us and the forest, wrinkling her nose at the old scraps of garbage inside. Well... Carl looks up and down the tree line, squinting. It kinda looks different now, but I think it's about here. It's only like 10 feet in, right? Carl looks at me. That sounds about right. We can fan out and check all the trees that's close to the road. TJ jumps across the ditch lightly, much more lightly than the clumsy hop I execute right after. I land unevenly on the opposite incline of the windmill. Windmill? My arms, and windmill my arms as I lean back. Carl starts laughing before I even fall, but TJ reaches out and grabs me by the shirt, yanking me back up from the ditch. I fall into him awkwardly, quickly pressing back, brushing myself off, even though there isn't anything on me. Are you okay? I'm fine, thanks. I glare over at Carl, who's still laughing. Did you even try, man? He leaps over easily, clearing the ditch along with a few more feet. That's not fair. I'm an otter. Don't let that hold you back from achieving your dreams. Jenna elects to delicately step around the garbage before climbing up the other side. It's okay. You swim better than any of us, Chase. I sigh. Thanks, TJ. I turn back to the forest, which is much darker as the light struggles to filter through the branches and leaves. Well, let's start before it gets too dark. As I spread out amongst the trees, I'm struck with how quiet it is. The only sound is from the crunch of our feet on the dead vegetation, and that starts to fade as the others move further away from me. These zigzag through the trees, trying to get a look at their full circumferences. When I remember, the birdhouse was a plain wooden thing that hardly stood out from the trunk that it was attached to. You might not even see it if you're looking right at it. Well, it's been a long time. Walking between these trees does bring back some memories. We stopped coming here after what happened to Sydney, mainly because this was his favorite place to hang out. He liked to play capture the flag here. I still can't remember how fast he was. No, I can still remember how fast he was. I'd only catch glimpses of his tail between the trees before he disappeared with the flag. His team won almost every time. The summer of 2002 was the last time we played. Sydney had been getting along better with TJ then. That might have been the best summer of my life until it happened. It was almost like Echo saw us having too much fun and wanted to end it. For good. Sydney had still been a dick, though. The image of Sydney whipping TJ mercilessly with a towel we used as a flag comes to mind. I moved close to the edge of the tree line before slanting back in again. Slanting? Looking up between the branches, I can see the sky is darker blue now. Pretty soon it'll be pitch black. It was about this light the last time I was here. I'd come along when I was 10, maybe 9, come alone. It's hard to remember now, but I think I'd gone here because I was sad. I had good memories of the forest, so I thought going here might make me feel better. I was standing in the forest, waiting to see if I'd feel better. It didn't happen, so I sat down in the leaves and started crying. I was there for maybe 5 minutes before I heard some branches creaking above me. I looked and saw feet swinging around. This confused me, so I stood up and backed away, staring up as I slowly realized I was seeing a fox being hung by his neck. Even now, I can remember the way he looked, his overalls, and his white shirt. His head had been tilted down towards me, his tongue lolling out of his muzzle, his eyes blank. I can even remember what looked like a pinkish red blood on the white fur of his chin. Then I tripped over a branch, and when I looked back up, he was gone. I can't remember much after that, except that I had gone home and told my parents. That ended up with me seeing a doctor. They never found anything wrong with me, at least that might relate to me seeing things. In the end, we were told sometimes kids hallucinate, that it would stop happening as I got older. I hug myself, feeling cold and a little scared now that I've brought up that old memory. While I know that I was at the age where kids hallucinate most often. I don't think kids do that, though. I still can't get it out of my mind how real it had been. Still, that's not exactly what's giving me the chills right now. Because I just realized that had been the summer that after Sydney passed. That's why I was sad, because I remembered how happy the summer before that had been. So, what Sydney wrote doesn't make any sense. Unless I'm going crazy. A creak behind me makes me jump as I whirl around, eyes scanning the branches, terrified of what I might find. But there's nothing there, just branches creaking in the wind. I stare for a while longer, before a shout from far down the line of trees makes me jump. I found it! It's TJ's voice, high-pitched and excited. I shake myself out of my trance and start jogging towards where the lynx's voice came from. Maybe I've confused things, and I'm just remembering things incorrectly. It's the only thing that makes sense. As I come up to Lynx, Carl and Jenna are already there, standing around the tree trunk. Sure enough, a little wooden birdhouse is tied to the trunk with rusty wires. I can't believe it's still here. It does look pretty beat up. Jenna points to the little wooden plug in the opening. It's closed up. I think it's been closed the whole time? Dunno, maybe. JJ pokes at the plug with a claw, then grips around the edges with all claws before gently pulling the wooden cork-like thing out. A thick, sticky-looking trail of cobwebs follows it. We all stare into the dark hole that's revealed. Chase, when I reach in there, I'm sure there aren't any spiders. I shiver involuntarily. I don't really want to either. Jenna sighs before pushing past TJ. Bending over, she picks up a twig and sticks it in the hole, before swirling it around. Then she pulls it back out, like it's made of cotton candy cone of spider webs. She drops it, then takes out her phone, turning on the flash before holding it up to the opening. Well, I'll wait anxiously for her to say something. There is something here. With that, she reaches in with just her fingers. After a few crinkling sounds, she pulls out a Ziploc bag. Inside it is a folded up piece of paper and a blue comb. Holy shit. No way. Well, no one ever comes back here, so I guess it makes sense. He actually put a comb in there to make it rhyme, huh? I guess there might not be too many bees in the desert. Well, actually, never mind. Jenna makes a few jerking motions away from the birdhouse to get rid of the cobwebs. She looks around and then sticks it out to me. Since you're at the last one, okay. I glance at TJ, but he doesn't make any indication that he might want it. The bag is covered in what looks like dirt and cobwebs, and a few clumps of both dangle from the bottom. I open it carefully, and when I pull out the paper, I can tell that it's been wet a few times. It's a little crumpled, but when I unfold it, the water damage isn't bad enough that I can't read it. Still, the paper immediately splits in two this time, and I have to hold them up together to read it. It's dark to the point where I have to have Carl hold up his phone to give me some light. Good job, but that was a little easy, right? Next, we'll find out how brave you are. I know this is already a scary test for Chase, but that doesn't count. I think getting what Chase was talking about, the inconsistencies were, right? Because Sydney said Chase might not like this one because of me being scared of the Force because of seeing a dead body, hallucinatingly maybe, but then the dead body came after Sydney's death. Do you really remember? Get a flashlight and make sure Leo is with you. Here it is. Stay in school. It will be cool. We'll have fun in 301. I hope you don't die. Sid. We're quiet for a moment, then TJ giggles. I look at him, but he's covering his mouth with a hand so I can't see him smiling. So, what is it? So something about spiders, I guess, in school? And that's whatever's going on in our head, I guess? That's not really a riddle, is it? I smile. Go easy on him, he was a kid. Sorry. So the old school in room 301. I assume that's what he meant by the test of courage. Shoot. He went in there all by himself? I wouldn't even do that now. Yeah, that's a little weird. The feeling that something isn't right grows inside my chest. Well, we'll have to break the law to get in there. We'd be trespassing. Jenna glanced at TJ, because we all know the Lynx wouldn't dare break the law. Besides, it's getting late. Maybe we can go check it out tomorrow. One of us can go in for you, TJ. I mean, how about Leo, I guess. TJ looks up the sky, where the stars are starting to twinkle through the branches. Well, if we're going to trespass, we should do it at night, right? Jenna's mouth falls open. What? TJ looks flustered. I mean, we don't have all that much time left here, so we should probably get as much as done as we can. So, you're okay with breaking the law? Well, yeah, if it means we can finish this. We all stare at him. I don't know what else to say. I just really want to get this done. It feels right. We're quiet for a moment before TJ claps his hands together. Well, alright then, let's go. We've still got a few hours before I'm going to bed. Jenna sighs loudly. Alright, but I want to get back before 10 so that I can finish my papers. Yeah, don't worry. Onward. Carl marches ahead of us, taking a running leap across the ditch. I look at TJ, who's still looking fidgety again. Hey, we'll finish this before we have to leave, okay? TJ gives me a small smile. Okay. And with that, that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. Stupid shows on Echo randomly at night. Yeah. Oof. Interesting stuff. Also, I'm glad I did try to do the thing that I was thinking of doing, like, part of the way through, which would be, like, 1 episode per day, because, again, some of these days is, like, 1, maybe 2 Let's Plays. This one's going on 4. But that's going to be the end of this Let's Play. So please comment, because I like comments, comment you like, dislike, tips, tricks, as always. If you like my YouTube and likes it grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the videos epic grow. And please remember to spay your animals to have control the pet population. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Oh, and if you want to play this game, it's out for free. And if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, Patreon. So thanks and see ya.